What's up guys, my name is Ace, and welcome back to another gun guide. This is the series where I go into great detail with all of the stats of every one of the weapons in COD World War II. In today's episode, we're going to be covering the first of the brand new guns that was added with the Attack of the Undead event, and this is the Nambu Type 2. So the Nambu Type 2 is a Japanese submachine gun that fires an 8x22 Nambu round at approximately 800 rounds per minute. In COD World War II, we get a damage profile of 30, 23, 19, which means it's always going to take 4, 5, or 6 shots to kill in core game modes, and that's a pretty standard damage profile for an SMG in this game. Our rate of fire is 679 rounds per minute, which is just a little bit slower than the MP40, but it is noticeably faster than the Type 100, and with rapid fire, we can bump that up to 726 rounds per minute. Our statistical minimum time to kill in the 4-shot kill range is 265 milliseconds, in the 5-shot kill range it's 353 milliseconds, and finally in the 6-shot kill range it's going to be 442 milliseconds. This is just a little bit on the slow side for the SMGs. It doesn't have a super fast time to kill by any means. As for headshots, we get a headshot multiplier of 1.1, which means our headshot damage profile is going to be 35, 25, 22, and this essentially means that headshots aren't very useful with this gun. If you hit every shot to the head within the standard 5-shot kill range, yes, you can get a 4-shot kill, but that's simply not really practical in a real gunfight. Same thing goes with the 6-shot kill range. If you can manage to land 2 shots to the head out of all of your shots, it will reduce the number of shots it takes to kill by 1, but once you start stretching out to that range, again, that doesn't really become all that practical. As for our ranges, we've got a pretty standard 4-shot kill range for SMGs for the Nambu Type 2. Our 5-shot kill range extends out to 25 meters, and then beyond 25 meters, it's going to be 6 shots to kill. With Suppressor, all of our range values are reduced by 30%, and with Advanced Rifling, we gain no benefit whatsoever to our 4-shot kill range, but we do get 25% extra range to our 5-shot kill range. As for Hardcore, you can see our 1-shot kill potential there, pretty standard for SMGs, and with Suppressor, that is reduced by 30%. Advanced Rifling does absolutely nothing to this gun for Hardcore game modes. Getting into hipfire, this is one of the big downsides with this gun. As you can see here, it has by far the worst hipfire spread in the SMG category. It's much more comparable to a rifle in this game. Moving on to idle sway, as you can see here, it's pretty standard for the SMGs, and that is to say that it does have some noticeable idle sway, and this will affect your ability to hit that first shot when you try and challenge somebody at a bit of a longer range. This brings us to the next thing. This is recoil, and this is one of the big upsides to this gun. It's extremely accurate. As you can see here, it kicks pretty much just straight vertically, very little side-to-side sway, which means it's very predictable and very controllable. I feel confident with this gun challenging people in that 6-shot kill range, simply because I know I can control that recoil very effectively. As for magazine capacity, this is pretty standard. We've got a 30-round magazine with 90 rounds in reserve, and with extended mags, we bump that up to 45 rounds with 135 in reserve. Getting into our reload add time, this is a little bit slow for the SMG category at 1.57 seconds. It's still respectable, it's just a bit on the slow side. Our aim down sight time is 190 milliseconds with this SMG, which is a little bit on the faster side for SMGs, and the sprint out time is exactly the same at 190 milliseconds. As for movement speed, we get a standard SMG movement speed at 100%, and we get a standard aim down sight strafe speed at 72%. Getting into my preferred attachments, I really like quick draw on my SMGs, just allows me to be super snappy with my aim. Rapid fire is an excellent option with this gun as well. It does have that little bit of a slower time to kill for the SMG category when you're not running rapid fire, but when you put rapid fire on there, it suddenly starts competing quite well with PPSHs, especially due to its really good accuracy. As for a couple other attachments that I would recommend for this gun, I would say Steady Aim is really nice to just combat that really bad hipfire spread that it has compared to the other SMGs. And also, especially from running rapid fire, I really like to use extended mags because that reload time's a bit on the slow side, and I like being able to challenge a lot of enemies before needing to reload. Getting into a couple example classes I have for you guys. First up, we have this armored class. I really like using this as just a great all-around class, really good for objective game modes as well. Obviously, we're using armored. We've got quick draw, extended mags, and rapid fire on this. Our basic training is scoped, which is really nice to combat that idle sway because, like I said, this gun is very accurate at challenging people at a somewhat long range for an SMG, but that idle sway can get to you sometimes, so that really helps, as well as just the increase to your strafe speed while aiming down sight. That's always really nice in a gunfight. Sometimes, though, I will swap out scope for Blitzkrieg. I love using Blitzkrieg as well, so those are kind of interchangeable for me on this class. My secondary is going to be a 9mm SAP with extended mags, lethal is a sticky grenade, and tactical is a stun grenade. Moving on to the next class I have for you guys here, this is with the Airborne Division. Finally, the Airborne Division got a buff in the most recent update where we actually got the Type 2 Nambu. So you actually do get around the map noticeably faster now with Airborne, which is great. So I'm going to be using the Airborne class here. With this one, we're using steady aim, so I can come out of sprint and just hip fire out of sprint because you have that built-in gunslinger with Airborne. We've got extended mags and rapid fire again. Our basic training is Hunker on this one, and then the rest of it is the exact same as the other class. Those are just kind of a staple on my classes. So that's going to wrap it up for the Type 2 Nambu. My personal thoughts on this, I really like this SMG. I like the accuracy of it. It's like a Type 100 with a slightly better time to kill. It's very accurate, very easy to control, really versatile as well. You just have to be aware of the fact that your time to kill isn't going to be incredible by any means unless you have rapid fire equipped. That's not to say that it's useless without rapid fire, you just have to be really careful about running into other SMGs in close quarters situations. That's just my opinion, of course. I'd like to know in the comment section below, what do you guys think of the Type 2 Nambu so far? Have you had a chance to use it? Have you bought it with armory credits, gotten lucky out of a supply drop? Or have you just picked it up a couple times off the ground? If you have had a chance to use it, what are your thoughts on it so far? As always, if you guys have missed any of the previous episodes of Gun Guides, I've covered every other gun in the game aside from the new ones that were just added, which I will be covering those as the weeks go on. If you guys want to go check out those older episodes though, I will leave a link to the playlist down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.